So with our off airports, there's a high recon and a low recon. High recon tends to be about 500 feet AGL, and we're looking for the general suitability of the spot. You know, just a general idea of, well, what can I see, obstacles, are there people, what's my idea of how I'm going to get in and out, just a general overview to start with. But there's not much good information at 500 feet. We need to get lower. A couple of things we need to do on the lower passes: work out where the wind's coming from, which I've kind of talked to you about before. We do 2 identical ground track passes at the same speed and the same height in trim, and from that information we will work out which side of the aircraft is coming from, and also from front or back based on different ground speed. So it's really essential it's the same altitude and the same airspeed, same ground track, and same and in trim. Okay. Then once we've done to that, we'll also be looking on that pass, because we'll be a little bit lower. We'll be looking for a little bit more detail, like is there a slope to it? Where am I going to put my tail? That kind of stuff. Wires you can see better. Think about once we've got our wind direction, our in and out direction. With these big open spots, they'll usually be into the wind and out to the wind. That'll be our in and out. It gets a little bit more complicated when we start doing stuff like pinnacles and stuff into the mountains a little bit. Okay. The other thing is your abort. Always have your abort in mind up front. Again, it's pretty straightforward in these. We'll just climb out into the wind, but when we're into, say, a box canyon, that might not be possible. Right. So we just keep that in as a habit of part of our assessment. I'm thinking maybe kind of those areas a little bit beyond this. Okay. Kind of head out that way. Sure. That's what we've got to talk about. Oh, and then, so we do our 2 passes or whatever it takes, and we come in for our final recon, right? So if it all looks good, we'll may continue down to the actual approach. If not, we just call that a low recon. We get nice and low on our intended flight path, get a little bit more eyes on the actual surface that we're going to land on, and it's a good final check for the wind. If the wind's not quite where it should be, we'll feel it kind of shifting us around a little bit as we get down to about 40 knots, 35 knots. Yeah. And always be ready for an abort, you know. Either we're pulling too much power, a horse runs out in front of us, we see wires at the last minute. There's lots of reasons why we might recon. Let's get up about what we think is about 500 feet, and we'll be circling, observing the spot, considering a few things, trying to keep our airspeed in the green. Okay. So what do you think, first of all, what have we got looking at this spot? Any hazards, any things to think about?
A dust out?
Yeah, maybe a dust out, so we'll try and stay in that little vegetation area.
There doesn't seem like a slope, but you got that tree there. You can hit on some of that stuff.
Yeah, you got trees, you got possible shrubs that might catch skids. It's a track, so there might be ATVs or bikes coming up and down. I don't see any wires, I don't see any fencing, that kind of stuff. Okay. That's our high recon. So how high do you think that is where we're above the ground in feet, roughly?
About 400.
About 400. So you're going to guess the spot is about 3,500 feet, right? Yeah. Based on what we see on our MSL right now. Yeah. Okay, our pressure altitude is pretty much similar, maybe 100 feet different. What was our outground effect hover ceiling?
55.
Say again? 55. So we've got plenty of performance to be able to get in and out of there. Yep. Okay, now let's set up for a wind check. So first of all, we'll head out, and I'm going to use that road as a wind check. Okay. So I'll lose a couple of 100 feet, we'll get down to about 3.7. Try and keep that airspeed in. And we've got the track to be able to keep an eye on our spot. And what I want to do is I want to use that diagonal road, all right? I'm going to go over that diagonal road, bring it back to about 45. And I'm going to try and hold 3.7. Okay. And I'm going to try and stay in trim, but over that line. I'll say 40 then. Right, look out the side. Just look at how fast it looks like we're moving, okay? Trim, crab-wise, it looks like I feel like I'm, I don't know, maybe not crabbing at all. I think we're just going, maybe having the crab slightly to the right. Okay. Let's try and set up a reverse of that. A little bit low there, let's bring the airspeed in. So we break out to the left and we do like a lollipop turn back to the right. Okay. Give ourselves plenty of time to be set up for that 3,700 and about 40 knots. The more precise we can be on the airspeed, the better we can judge the kind of ground speed. Right. Bring up on 3,700, make sure we're in trim. Oh, about 45. Let's bring it back a little bit. We're closer to about 40. What do you think? Does it seem any faster or slower on this pass?
Seems like it might be a little bit slower.
Might be a little bit slower. I think you're right. But I think winds are very light right now. It's very hard to determine. But I think winds are probably still coming out of the south. Okay?
Okay.
Now on those passes we can also be looking, make sure, you know, does it still look like the approach that we had in mind is still a good idea? Can we get a little bit more information on the slope, that kind of thing?
Okay.
What did we estimate the height at? 3,500 I think was the touchdown height? Yep. Okay, now let's think about in and out. If I want to stay in direction facing into the wind, I think I'm going to pretty much come in, yeah, straight to the south. Maybe I make a right turn right now would kind of be my approach, and then I'd go out to the south as well.
Okay.
So let's set up for that approach. If it doesn't feel right, then we'll just go around straight ahead.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm going to do like a left hook round here and bring us around.
Let's pretend we're EMS pilots.
EMS pilots. All right.
We're thinking of an injured hiker.
Injured hiker. So maybe we get some on the ground to throw some straw up in the air, some grass up in the air, or maybe open a flare or some sort of wind indicator for us.
Yeah.
Now you would make the turns so that you could keep an eye on the spot. So you'd probably be doing as much as possible right turns, okay?
Okay. Okay. I see it. We're on that side.
Yep, so we're going to be on the right side. As we start losing airspeed, I feel out the approach a little bit. So we're going below 30, we want to watch our descent and our power.
Okay.
So we're going to continue at this stage. Getting a little bit steep. Pulling in the power early, which will walk this in. "17 inches. Keep walking this in. Try and keep some forward motion so we're getting some efficiency on the rotor system. Okay, now as we come down here, we're about 20 inches. Start getting into ground effect soon. I'm going to start thinking about where I'm going to put my tail, which is going to be in this open area.
Yep.
Now we can determine if there was some sort of slope. Brown out, something we have to think about as well.
Okay.
Okay, I'm going to put my tail kind of underneath us here. Might be a slight slope to your side. Left skid down.
Yep. Not yet here.
Right skid down now. Okay. A little bit of movement of pedals and cyclic like a slope like we normally do.
Yeah.
Keep the left cyclic in until we've lowered the collective. Alright, center controls. Eyes on the RPMs will roll down 75. That goes all the way down. Okay, your controls?
My controls?
Alright. I think we need to get a photo of you on your first off airport, man. Alright, so you guide the controls, make sure we're back up to 75.
Okay.
Is we want somewhere that's got some ground vegetation, even if it's light, to try and hold the dust down. That, you know, this as opposed to a track, which is going to have no vegetation, just going to recirculate dust.
Okay.
But then we also don't want to get too close to this kind of stuff and catch a skid. So it's a compromise there. And also we have long grass that may cause a ground fire with the exhaust being quite low on this helicopter.
Okay.
Okay, so let's roll up.
Okay.
You got the controls still?
Okay.
What I'll get you to do is I'll get you to bring us up from the slope.
Okay.
We'll bring it into a hover. And then, let's just have a look at this for a second. Can you see, look around you, left and right. See how far a downwash moves through this grass. Does it appear that it goes to one side more than the other? You can see where the grass stops moving?
Yeah, I do. I think there's a little bit more on this side.
A little bit more on this side, maybe. I don't know, it's hard. I mean, to me, I think it looks pretty even to me. There's not much difference. There's not a really big obvious difference. But it does seem not to go so far forward as it does. Well, even that's close. It's a no-wind day, really. It's very light. If there was some wind, it would shift to one side, right? Be blowing our vortices off to one side. So you'd see a shorter distance of grass movement on one side and a longer on the other.
Right.
And that would give you a little bit of an indication about how to get a little bit more airspeed sooner. But there's very little here. I can't see any movement on any of these trees. Very little movement on the grass that's out there beyond our disc. So it's pretty much one direction as good as the other.
Okay. So do we have time to have me do one, or we gotta get going?
We might do, yeah.
Okay.
We might do. So first of all, let's get us picked up from here.
Okay.
Well, make sure your skid's clear, right? My skid's clear. So let's get clear?
Yep.
So we're going to do a normal slope pickup. Once we've picked up, we're going to do a pedal turn because we're going to move back a little bit, give ourselves a little bit more room,
Okay.
and then do a takeoff run in what we think is the wind direction. Does that make sense?
Yep. Alright, warning lights out, top green, 3 green.
Carby, I'll put the carby down so we stay out of the yellow, but we get a bit more performance, okay?
Perfect. Alright, here we go.
Okay, so left cyclic, get that into the hill first of all. A little bit more?
A little more, okay.
Yeah, there you go. Remember, we'll make this nice and slow, don't try and snap it up out of the dirt. Okay, and right cyclic, left pedal. There you go. If we don't, if we don't bring the right cyclic in as we roll over, we then our disc goes with it, and we start rolling to the left, and then dynamic roll. Clear tail.
Okay.
Okay, make a pedal turn. We'll just back up a little bit over there. We'll go up to kind of the edge of this light grass area, so maybe about 50 feet this way. Now the dust's moving, I think we were right. The wind is going to be out of the south, maybe the southwest. Alright, let's move up a little bit further, keep going. Just before this, you see this sagebrush?
Yeah.
Just before this sagebrush.
Not that again.
Okay, hold it here. Turn us around. So make a left pedal turn if you're clear. Make a left pedal turn because it will...
Yep, it's better.
Yeah, it'll be less likely you're going to get into LTE because you can just let go of the left pedal and the torque will take over. Alright, where's your out? Which way are you going to go?
Probably just straight, right?
Yeah, let's go that way. Alright,
Okay.
now predict when you're going to get ETL. When do you think you're going to get all that performance? How far do you think we're going to go before you get all that performance?
Probably just that stage rush.
I think so, yeah.
Alright. Warning lights out, top the green, 3 green. Here we go.
There it is. Make sure we clear up as we come up.
Yeah.
We're going to get at least 300 feet before we make any turns. Okay, let's get our altitude.
Okay.
Come all the way up to your 5 minute. Get that 55 knot climb out. Get your 300 feet. I think, by the way, I didn't see exactly, but I think we were pretty damn close on the altitude for the MSL. All right, there's about 300 feet. So now make a turn back over our spot. Okay. All right, I want us to have a habit of when we've left the spot.
Make sure we didn't forget anything.
Make sure we didn't leave our cell phone down there. Now I was thinking more, make sure we didn't start a fire.
Right.
Keep the airspeed up in the turn. Try and keep that at 50.
Okay.